This is 99% Craps.
Hard 10, hard 10. There's the number.
I'll take the full odds on the 10, 200 on the hard way. The limit on all the numbers, 250 on the 11. Thank you very much.
Say, you played this game before.
Just once.
Welcome to the Red Eye Gamblers podcast. High above the second largest city, west of the Mississippi. Two chronic craps players, talking craps, playing craps, thinking craps. This is 99% Craps.
Coming up on 99% Craps, pre-holiday gambling in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Friday night and Saturday gambling. On the way, talk about scouting, other podcasts, and feeling safe. Then, more details on the new Shoot to Win craps table. But first, today's strategy. Wednesday, November 25th, 2020, episode 25. The Red Eye Gamblers present 99% Craps. All right, and welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I am on another trip to the casino, and we are going to Lake Charles, Louisiana on a Friday night. Got out of work a little early and am heading that way, and probably just maybe 30 more minutes and I will be there. So typically for me it's a 2-hour drive. No way to shave that down at all, but anyway. Going out to see what a Friday night and Saturday morning look like for Lake Charles. So anyway, I guess I'll try to be playing at both Golden Nugget and Le Berge. And Isla Capri still is not up and running, and Coachada's not worth the drive right now. So looking to play craps mostly. They've got the Shoot to Win craps at Le Berge. I'm very excited to see how that thing is working, and whether it's 24 hours due to COVID, and kind of see what the weekend crowd looks like out in Lake Charles. I was a little disappointed with the lack of social distancing at the regular craps tables, but was actually pretty excited about the Shoot to Win table because there was dividers and you were able to social distance pretty well. So yes, I think strategy wise I'll probably be starting on the don't.
Give yourself to the dark side.
And checking to see if a couple of my little plays might work for periods of time. I'm not sure that it'll be a dark table. I think it'll be going back and forth. So I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, I'll be pretty happy to actually play on the positive side of things. So I think I'll be playing points, but we'll just see. I am thinking about playing some come out roll options, since I'll be at the Shoot to Win table. It'll have the monitor there that I can make my own bets. And so one of the things I really enjoyed doing was making bets on the come out. So whether they're horn bets or anything else, it's something I don't have to throw in the middle of the table. It's something I can do right then and there. So we'll see how that goes, but hopefully I can see trends. One of the things I mentioned last time was that you're able to notice, or you're able to track the rolls on the table on your screen, and so they show the last 16 rolls. So you can kind of see a trend in what's happening on the table. So I've noticed trends before when I've gone to Lake Charles, 4 and 10s, you can easily see them. So we'll just kind of see what happens. Although I'm not looking to play tonight because I think it's going to be too crowded. I'm looking to play early in the morning to capitalize on empty tables. Don't need to be at crowded tables, crowded casino, especially with the numbers being up. So I'll probably just have dinner, kind of walk around. If there's some video poker that looks interesting, I might sit in there. But otherwise, probably just scout around on a Friday night, and then maybe have a cigar somewhere, and then get up early in the morning around 5, 6, and do some gambling in the morning when there's less of a crowd. So that's kind of the strategy for this time. I'm not sure if there's any sort of promos or any sort of specials going on. Usually they do those kind of things on Fridays and Saturdays, and they'll probably be in the evening, and they'll probably get a bunch of people, and I probably won't want to be around a bunch of people. So, but I'll check it out. We'll see what happens, and I'll report back to you guys. Yeah, last time I did not scout anything out because I just sat down at my shoot to win craps table and never got really back up for 8 hours, and then I was just ready to go home. So at least tonight I'll be able to go back and forth between the two casinos. Gonna have some dinner, and brought my own cooler of beer, so I'll have my own beers, so I don't have to, go. I don't have to go and sit down and have a cocktail waitress come to me. So we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. Oh, I guess I was happy to hear that one of the podcasts was going to do James Bond stuff. So happy that that's going to actually dovetail into our last podcast. So I guess on that note, there are a few podcasts that I listen to, or that we listen to. Excuse me, it's I listen to. Oh yeah, Shotgun is not here either, or this time again, because he's still not feeling safe enough to come out here as a high-risk person. So he's going to hold on for a while, and we'll see what happens maybe after the holidays. But we'll see what happens numbers-wise. But he's still hibernating for me, for that matter. I quarantined myself after the last trip, and I don't feel sick, didn't have any symptoms, don't have a fever, so I think I did everything safely last time. So if I can do everything safely again this time, then I think I'll feel safe enough to come back out here and get back on my regular schedule of about every 2 weeks come out and shooting some dice. So I'm really excited about that, because I truly missed playing craps. I miss talking about craps. I just miss the casino. So, but really the times that I scouted and saw full tables of craps, people, it just didn't look comfortable to me. It doesn't look fun. At least now I've got something new and something different, and I get to roll, and then nobody can really mess with me, and I can. It's kind of interesting. It's like being able to play your own solo game and still have an opportunity to roll dice. As opposed to bubble craps.
Push the button!
But bubble craps, it's the same thing. I mean, you can just put your head down and just make your bets and do whatever. But this time you can actually throw the dice. So I really, really dig it, and I'm really wanting to get some more time on the table to try to go through and understand how the dice react to that tacky film of a surface on the glass tops now. So we'll see how that goes. I'll maybe play from a couple of different positions. That'll probably be a good idea. And actually I want to play where stick right one or stick left one of those inside positions where the stick guy used to be. Now you're encroaching right on him, so they split that to the right and the left. So I want to play one of those, because I think then it's, I might be wrong, it might not be a 12-foot table, it might be a 10-foot table, but either way, you're at that spot at the middle of the table, you're closer than you'd normally be. So it'll be interesting to see if I can throw from those spots and see what the dice do. And then I also want to maybe shoot from straight out. So we will see what happens, but that's the goal. And so maybe play a late night session if there's not a lot of people there, and then play in the morning for sure. And I'm only staying just the night, so checkout's at 11. So after that, we'll just see how I feel. There's no reason to stay into the evening because I'll be able to come back out. Actually, I am coming back out. I'm coming out the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So I'll have that to fall back on. So there's no real reason to play too long. If I play a session late night tonight and then 1 or 2 2-hour sessions tomorrow morning, early afternoon, and then go, be back into Houston by 5, I think that's a good goal. Or hell, 3 for that matter. So anyway, I think that's time frame of what I'm trying to do. Maybe 3 sessions, a couple hours each. Don't do the big long 8-hour session that I did last time because that was just a day trip. This is an overnight trip. So happy to hear that one of the podcasts I listened to is going to be doing a special on James Bond, gambling in James Bond films, like I was hoping they would. So if you guys don't know, and I'm sure you guys do, but for those people that don't know, there's 2 really good gambling podcasts that I listen to regularly. If you don't, you probably should too. One is The Better Life, run by Tim Lawson, and the other one is You Can Bet on That, which is Mark and Dr. Mike, and they are out of California. And then Tim and The Better Life, I think they're out of DC, and so he handle the East Coast, he handles the East Coast sort of stuff, and then Mark and Dr. Mike do I think Southern California gambling, or they're somewhere in California, but I think they're Southern California. But they're card craps, which I've always noted, as opposed to dice craps, which is just always funky and weird to me. I guess one day I'll eventually have to play card craps, but that's just, again, it's like a different way to play craps. It's, not bubble craps. It wouldn't be shoot to win, it'd be this way. Anyway, listen to those guys pretty regularly. Mark and Dr. Mike have well over 200 episodes, I think 221 or something like that. And then I know The Better Life has had a little over 100 episodes. They just celebrated their 100th over the summer. And they're both different podcasts, but they're both a decent amount of gambling, and I guess that's the one thing that I like, and that's something that we model our podcast after, is just straight up gambling talk. Not really into the chit chat, and not really it's nice to get to know people and things like that, but that's not the podcast we wanted to do, so we don't talk about ourselves so much. And so if I was listening to 2 morons talk about casinos and stuff, and really liked their perspective because they're actually dealers in the industry, and actually we went out and met them when they first got their podcast out there, and we're one of the first people to meet them before you knew where they worked, and started talking to them about craps and the history of craps and all the things we love about it, and it was really just a job to them, which is fine. They just don't have the passion about the game that we did, and it was very obvious right from the get-go that it was just a job, and they'd rather be doing something else than being at the casino. So it was pretty interesting, but so they ended up talking a little too much about everything else other than what happens in the casino and on the floor and on the table, which so I kind of stopped listening to them. And then, but Mark and Dr. Mike, they talk about craps all the time, and then they take a lot of phone calls and stuff. So they're a really good listen, and they actually do a really good job of explaining a bunch of different other gambling games. And over 200 episodes, they got an episode where they talked about one of them usually. So, but anyway, so those are 2 of the main podcasts that I listen to, and The Better Life started talking about changing their show up a little bit, and now Tim from The Better Life and Mark from You Can Bet on That are now doing a joint podcast out of the Better Life once a month, and they're doing it where they talk about gambling in TVs and movies. And I had my fingers crossed, and sure enough, they are going to be doing a podcast on James Bond and going through gambling in James Bond movies. I think that'll be their next deal, so that'll probably be next month. But really excited about that, so I didn't have to talk about it, and they can. So anyway, look out for that, everybody. It'll be on the Better Life podcast, and it'll be a special that they do with Mark from You Can Bet on That. So good luck, fellas. I'm sure it'll be very, very, very entertaining. I mean, how can gambling in James Bond not be fun to talk about? So. Well, I wonder how busy it'll be tonight. It's Friday night. It's the Friday before Thanksgiving. And one of my theories is weekends before and after holidays are usually not too busy because everybody's focused on the holiday itself. So not necessarily the Saturday and Sunday after Thanksgiving, but the following week after Thanksgiving, and then the week before Thanksgiving. So I'm coming up here now on the weekend before Thanksgiving with the thought that it won't be typically as crowded as a regular Friday night around a holiday. So, and then I'm coming back on Wednesday to play Thanksgiving morning, because I do know for a fact that Thanksgiving morning is pretty slow at the casino. So if I'm back to looking for slow opportunities and minimal people in a casino so I can feel safe and secure in this COVID-19 casino world, then this is what I'm doing. I'm finding the days that I think will have less customers and be a little slower so I can do my gambling in private, or at least as privately as I can. But I'm pretty excited. I can see the bridge. There's a bridge right before you get to the casinos, so I am 5 minutes away or less. And I made it in really good. Well, I didn't make it in a really good time. I got ahead of rush hour traffic on a Friday, so I got down here before 5:30, and that's the key. So leave around 3 o'clock from Houston and get here before 5 o'clock in Lake Charles, and you miss all the rush hour traffic. So, and then hopefully now there won't be traffic for me checking into my room, and then I'll be able to start relaxing, crack open a beer, and start walking around. So yeah, so I guess go back to strategy for tonight. Unless I see an opportunity, probably won't do anything other than video poker. And I want to do video poker. I didn't do any video poker last time, and I said I was gonna. So I want to know if I'm. I want to know if I'm any good. I want to see if I can actually, get a couple of 4 of a kinds, get a straight flush. I know there's no way I'll get a royal flush, but let's put an hour's worth in the poker machine and see what happens. So we'll do that, and then. Yeah, the one thing I want to do is I want to see if I can play the ATS. The problem is the ATS is at the regular craps tables. They don't have that bonus at the shoot to win. So if I want to do the ATS, then I'm going to have to get on a table that's empty in the morning and then make those bets. So hopefully I can do that. That'll be one of my goals, is to be on the ATS and get throw the dice at a regular table. So, well, cool. Well, all right, guys, I'm gonna let you go, and this will be just like last time, other than it's probably gonna be 24 hours again before I talk to you, but it'll only seem like a few seconds. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Adios. All right, well, we are now on our way back. That was definitely a little long, I need to really listen to what I'm saying and do what I need to do. But I'm leaving again way later than I was expecting to. But I had a really, really good time. Again, the shoot to win table at L'Auberge was open for my liking this morning and last night and this afternoon and into this evening. So I guess it's about 6:30 on Saturday. I'm heading home. So I've been gambling, I guess, all last night, and then got up. Let's see. So Friday night got in and stayed at L'Auberge. Walked back and forth between Golden Nugget and L'Auberge, and they were busy, but they weren't really busy. They had people there, but I will say, after midnight, it died down. Oh, I know the one thing that was really weird or really odd was they stopped serving alcohol at 11:30, and so that was a little interesting. I was not expecting that because that kind of changed the crowd, and usually it's 24/7 for alcohol, so I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But anyway, the crowd kind of thinned out as it got later, so I got on the shoot to win table around midnight. They had all 4 regular craps tables going with 8 people, 4 people on each side at a table. So that was so they were full the whole time. They were $15 and $25 tables. And then again, the shoot to win table is a $10 minimum, $2 max, and it's 5 times odds. But it was not crowded. It was funny. I was watching people look at the table, and they would look at it and then keep walking away. It was almost like they were a little too intimidated to play on a new machine. I think they're just scared of something new, which is fine by me. Keep passing it up, because I had a spot, and I was able to shoot a bunch and did fairly well this whole trip. So played a little last night, and then I think I got back home around 2:30 or 3, and then I got up at 5, which ended up being 6 to go down to the casino at 6. And then there was one person at the shoot to win table, and so me and him just went back and forth for a while, and I played for a really long time and did really well there too. Was able to shoot and felt comfortable, was hitting my numbers, was hitting hard ways, and overall had a really good time this morning, early this morning. Then I went back to the room around 9:30 and took a shower, checked out, and then went back to Golden Nugget to take a look at it, and it had a couple tables going. The crapless table was $15 and the regular table was $15, and they were still crowding them in there. So I went back to L'Auberge and found a spot at my shoot to win table. So I'm really digging the COVID friendliness of the shoot to win table. The seating, the plastic dividers, the space between players. I guess that's what it is even if they're not wearing a mask, which, I keep running into people who don't want to wear masks at the crap table. But as long as they're spaced away from you and have a plastic divider, that's much better than being, right next to you, shoulder to shoulder at the craps table. So, so that's been nice. I've been able to enjoy it. I've been able to stay for a while and enjoy myself because there's a chair there and the wait service is pretty good. So I got back out there this afternoon, and then pretty much I've been there since about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I was up. I was doing really well. I was up, and then I decided to cash out and kind of walk around a little bit, and then I came to get back in and bought in for less, and did fairly well with that money. So every time I got up to get away from the craps machine, I was up. And then when I came back, I always started with my original bankroll. So this was a very, very good trip. I like it. So I think I was right on the early morning and afternoon on the weekends. They didn't have many people, but also late night on Friday didn't have that many people too. The regular craps tables had plenty of people, but the shoot to win, since it's a new table, I think people are still, people are still trying to figure it out, or not. They're not even. They think it's a novelty, and so they're. I mean, that was the thing. The bubble craps machine.
Push the button!
That was packed. That had 8 people at it, and those people are a little tighter than the 10 people at the shoot to win craps table. But anyway, to each his own. And so they had, on a Friday night, LeBerge had 4 regular craps tables going, bubble craps machine, and a shoot to win table. So now they officially have. Well, no, that's not true. Gold Nugget still has more tables. They actually had 4 tables open last night, but just wasn't feeling it, so I stayed to the shoot to win. I'm still disappointed I wasn't able to play on the ATS, but I'm really trying to figure out this shoot to win table. The top is not exactly like I had mentioned it before, so this shoot to win table, I didn't really talk about the LED graphics on it either at all. I only talked about how to play and the mechanics of the top of the table. That's the other thing. It's not necessarily so much of a gel as it definitely is a film. And it's just like a plastic film coating over the top. So it doesn't squish down. It's just like, heavy saran wrap or something sticking. And then it has a tackiness to it. And then what they're doing with the dice, now that they're doing the alcohol wipes, or, they're cleaning the dice, well, they're getting them wet, and then they're putting them on the table right in front of the stick person. And then the stick person is having a hard time getting the stick to move the dice because they're stuck to the surface because of the cleaner. And so the cleaner is making the dice a little sticky. The table surface is a little sticky, a little tacky. So the dice are bouncing differently than if they bounce on felt. They are going. My dice were doing a 90-degree kind of right and left jog, which I'd never seen before. Usually, it'll go through and go forward, but these things, if it hit a corner the wrong way, it would just chuck backwards, or go straight to the wall on the left side, or depending on whichever side you were throwing down. But anyway, it's still pretty interesting, and I can't really. I'm not figuring it out. Well, I'm figuring it out a little bit, but it's just going to take me more time. But I like it. My hard ways were hitting. My horn was hitting. Horn was definitely hitting this weekend. I made a lot of money on the horn. The one bet I was doing on the horn was I do a $20 horn, and then I put an extra 5 on the 3 and the 11. So whatever hits of the horn, it pays the same. So, it's just 30 to 1 on the 2 and the 12, and 15 to 1 on the 11 and 3. So I put an extra nickel out there, so it's actually $10 on the 3 and 11, which pays $150. Or I've got a 5 on the 2 and 12, and that pays, 3 times 5, or 30 times 5 is $150. So now they both pay the same. So it's $30 at risk that I've got risk, down there on the horn. And that was working. So I was getting paid $150, usually on the come out. So a lot of 2s, a lot of 3s, a lot of 11s. So I was pretty happy that was working. So the Shoot to Win craps table top is a tacky film. It's not a gel, not like that. It's definitely like an adhesive film that's on top of glass. And the stick person actually yelled at somebody for beating the dice on the glass, so he got in trouble for that. But I played from straight out and had a good time, and then I played from stick left one, and was able to do pretty well there too. A couple of different things at the table that I didn't mention the last time. The LED top. So the whole top, I said it looked like a television screen. Well, it's got it has the table surface all laid out, just like if it was printed on felt. It's just on LED, so you can see all the numbers and everything out there. And then what they're doing then is each shooter has a different color, and the chips that are out there on the on the layout, the center of it will be the color of the player that it represents, and then it'll also be in the right location, around the number as well. But that was interesting. I didn't realize that there was a color assigned to each player. So there's 5 different colors. So on the left side and the right side are the different colors. So, and then you have these little laser beams that follow your bet when you place your bet in between a roller or in between shooters. So they go, it's like little laser beams from your area, and then to the 8, to the 6, to wherever, and it's like a laser beam. So every time you put another amount out there, it'll show that little laser beam. But so that's pretty kind of cool. But you're paying attention to your video screen, and so you don't really notice the lasers all the time on the screen. You're always focused on your personal television than the actual layout, so you don't really see that there very often. But it's kind of cool. And then I said that it keeps track of your rolls. It keeps track of up to 16 rolls. And then let's see, what else? Oh, so I mentioned the hot shooter bet, in which case it pays 1-to-1 if you hit 8 rolls. If you hit 16 rolls, it pays 2-to-1. If it hits 24 rolls, it is 3-to-1. And it does those kind of things going up. The cool thing though is after you hit 8 rolls, it says you're a hot shooter, and then the graphic that is on the side wall up against the dealer has it's like a fireplace, has fire on it since you're a hot shooter. And so it's actually got a video of fire, so that's kind of cool. So they've got these little animations that happen when you hit these mile markers of 8 rolls, 16 rolls, 24 rolls, 32 rolls, 40, 45, and 50. So, but anyway, so the graphics are kind of cool. Now the one thing I did notice, I told you that it was segmented glass that's on top of the screen. It looks more like it's 5 pieces of glass instead of 3 pieces of glass. And then that film goes over the top of it, and there are joints, and you can kind of see where they've been cleaning it, and because there's still like moisture below, like you can see the moisture wicking in between the film and the glass. So it's a little interesting, but it looks dirty already, and the table's not even a couple months old, maybe 3 months old, but it looks dirty. So anyway, I noticed that they had a computer malfunction, and so they had about 4 technicians out there, because they're all new at it, so they were all looking and helping each other try to figure things out. Apparently something something in the inside the guts of the belly of the machine where the computer is. Something got unplugged and just wasn't plugged in right. And so they figured that out. It took them probably 15 minutes to figure that out, which was interesting because the guy that was there, they just made a move. He couldn't do anything about it. And then it looks like the computer's kind of paired up, or something's paired up with the computers. So they were talking about, for the 10 machines, they were all tied together, linked together in pairs. So it'll be interesting to learn more about the inner workings of the shoot to win machine. But yeah, no, the dealers were kind of there. One of the ladies wasn't paying very much attention at all. So she never told me about my dice not hitting the back wall. She never mentioned anything about any of my short rolls. The other dealers that were out there, a couple of them would say, hey, you got to hit the back wall. Hey, you got to hit the back wall. But there were a couple that didn't. And again, this is the people that, are having fun at work and want to be at work. And then there's the ones that don't want to be at work and aren't having fun and aren't paying attention. So I pay attention to that. So I was talking to one of the dealers, and she's a regular dealer at the regular craps tables, and she was bored senseless, out of her mind. She hates the working this shoot to win table because there's absolutely nothing for her to do, and the time just drags. So every 20 seconds in between shooters, she was dancing. But I mean, that was kind of like she was just so bored because there's nothing for her to do at all, and she was hating it. So I felt for her, but she was having some fun. That was what she was doing. She was so you can change your name, or you can put your name in the computer. So the shooter number, your shooter number 1 through 10, and then so you can actually change that and have your name. Or a name, doesn't have to be your name, could be just a name in there. What's interesting though is that it doesn't show on the LED table. It only shows on your screen and then the dealer's screen. So the dealer was actually getting more of a kick out of what people were naming themselves than anybody else. So it was just a little different, but that's one more thing you can do. What else did I notice? A lot of nosy people. Didn't really have too many. We had some frat boys in last night, and they were just really loud. They were drunk and loud, and so either you want to be a part of that or you don't want to be a part of that. So I think that might have ended one of my sessions last night. It was just a little too loud, and I didn't really want to be around these rambunctious people. So that was kind of it for LeBear's last night. And then this morning, I would say the table never got full until probably after 4 o'clock. And I guess that's when people start checking in for the next day. So maybe, people were showing it up, and then that's why that got crowded. So, and then, when I left, it was definitely, there were lines getting in. Oh, that was the one thing that I noticed. There'd be lines at 2 of the entrances, but not the 3rd. It was like, if you see a line that's really long at your casino and there's a couple other entrances, you might want to just go ahead and walk around to those other entrances. Because I noticed for sure that it just didn't take long at all to just walk around and then walk right in with no line. So I guess strategies paid off. The tables were pretty positive today. They didn't have as many come out 7s as the last time I was there, but the horn was hitting, and 6s and 8s, 5s and 9s, depends on who was shooting, but 6s and 8s were pretty good. And then people were hitting their points, multiple points. But I don't load up on on the pass line and odds, but I did have $42 6 and 8s out there, $35 5s and 9s. I did a lot of positive regression plays, where I might be out on $30 6 and 8 and $25 5 and 9, hit once or twice and then regress down to 44 inside. And then you're playing with house money, and then slowly build up from there, but you're building with house money. So actually a lot of those, I was doing a lot of playing with house money and some regression. Didn't really do don't come today. It just seemed to be more of a positive table, so I was playing the 6 and 8 and then was able to, when those paid off, then place the 5 and 9. And then just when I was shooting, I did pretty well. I'll put a photo of, I did take a picture of the one long roll I did. I ended up having 33 rolls, and I took a picture when it was 31. And I might have jinxed myself by taking a picture of my roll. But that's the other interesting thing about the Shoot to Win Craps table. They don't mind you being on the phone. You can be on the phone. Well, I don't know if it'd be on the phone, but you can definitely text, and you definitely take pictures. And you can take pictures of the screen. So where before you couldn't really take a picture of the craps table, now you can take a picture of the craps table. So maybe not the other players, but when you're I was taking pictures of my screen, and then taking some overall pictures standing up, and nobody was really saying anything. So it's a different vibe than when you're taking pictures of the craps table and everybody's yelling at you for doing it. So anyway, digging the paper receipt. When you cash out, you get a piece of paper as opposed to having to go stand in line at the cashier. I walked around on Friday night and Saturday day, and Friday night that cashier line was long. And so that made me feel really good that I never had to go into a line with my winnings from the craps table. Same thing with this morning. There was at least 4 or 5 people in line. This whole every morning, or this whole morning and afternoon at the cashier. So I really dig that you get a receipt that you can take to the ATM, and it'll pay you out there. So another little trick, and I think I told you guys about this last time, is I was going to the video poker machine, and actually I had a ton of 20s. So I brought $2,000, and I had $2,000 worth of 20s. And so instead of doing that at the craps machine, I did that at a video poker, and was able to sit down and was playing a couple of hands while I was loading all those 20s in. And so basically put $2,000 worth of 20s into the video poker machine, played maybe 5 or 10 hands while I was doing that, won a little bit of money doing that, and then cashed out, and I had $2,050 on a receipt, and then I just took that over to the craps machine, and then just put that in the craps machine, and didn't have to worry about waiting in order to put all that money in. So I was just ready to go. So I kind of like doing that. I think that might be a part of my routine, is when I get there, and have a bunch of 20s or have a bunch of money, go ahead and sit in front of a video poker machine, put all that money in there, and maybe play for a little bit, and then cash out, and then use that cash out ticket for my craps buy-in. I think that works out really well, and then you're able to play right away. I guess you could play right away once you put in $20, but you're not distracted by it. Let's see. Didn't have an obnoxious crowd. Had a couple of couples, had old lady, had a couple of guys. Had a couple of guys who thought they knew everything, and then they saw me betting and said, "Oh, I've never seen that," and then started talking to me and asking me everything about how I was betting. And then they proceeded to start betting how I bet, but then they didn't switch when I switched. And then they got held out there and ended up losing everything. Went back to the ATM to get $20 more to come back. And it's been a long time since I've been that person where, you know, I needed another $20 just to go play, and I go to the ATM to get $20. And so anyway, so the kid next to me ran out of money and ended up going to the ATM for $20. And it's been so long since I've been there. You know, and then you're paying the fees on getting a $20 out of an ATM at the casino. Was it like $3 or $4 or $5 or more? I know strip clubs are more, but anyway, it was interesting. It was just interesting. But he was looking at what I was doing, and then the other guy on the other side, he was looking at my screen and kind of copying my bets. And you know, every once in a while they do the right thing, and then then they leave them out there too long, and then they get busted. So I really don't think people should look at what I do and follow me. I don't play the way everybody else does, and I would not even recommend it. I play with my gut, and I play with probability and with math, and sometimes that just well, sometimes it just doesn't work. But anyway, I had a really good time. I'm looking forward to going back out here on Wednesday. Spent a little too long, a little too much time. I probably should have left around 2 or 3, but there were a couple of advantageous plays to be made, and so I made them. And by doing that, it made me stay until later. So, but anyway, I should be home, in a couple hours, and it's a Saturday night. I can finish up work and do things tomorrow, and then it'll be a short week, and I'm back out on Wednesday. So. Anyway, sorry for the shortness of this, but it was kind of a short trip, and I got another one coming. So we'll see about turning this thing around. Maybe I can get it back out on Wednesday, and then I'll record on my Wednesday trip to have it out the following next week. That'd be cool. I haven't done a couple of episodes in the same month in a while. Maybe I can actually try to do this. So. All right, well, I guess I'll let you guys go. Had fun. Let's see, was there anything else from this table that I need to tell you guys about? I guess I'll put a couple of pictures on Instagram, and if you guys have any questions or something, why don't you reply to the Instagram stuff, and I'll take a look at it, and we'll see if maybe I can answer some questions if you guys have any. So. I think it's 99% is the Instagram, and so it'll be linked on our podcast page. So, all right, everybody. Well, I am looking forward to the rest of my drive. You guys look forward to the rest of your day or evening, and have a great one out there. Be safe. Be kind to each other. All right. Cheers. The Red Eye Gamblers, thank you for your time, and hope you got a little something out of this week's podcast.
Here's to rolling 7s on the come out, and may your 6s and 8s always be hard. Cheers.